On today's show, where do the LA Clippers go from here after another first round exit for the third consecutive year? Going to be talking about it all on today's Locked On Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You are locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA. Just finished my 20th season as a Clipper fan. Been covering the Clippers for 5 years on my own personal YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, in 3 years right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts. On YouTube, we're on the road to 8,000. Make sure you help us get up there. We got to pass Locked On Spurs and Locked On Nets. Sorry, fellas. But anyway, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the options because I talked about why the Clippers lost the series, why we lost Game 7, who's to blame, the blame pie. We'll have all kinds of episodes like that throughout this course of the summer. But the next topic at hand is, where do we go from here? So I'm going to be talking about some of the scenarios, running it back, retooling, blowing it up, just the 3 different scenarios that everybody talks about on a yearly basis. But before we do that, this episode is brought to you by absolutely nothing. So let's get to it. All right. There's no secret, ladies and gentlemen, that our team was lacking some stuff. When you don't win the championship and you were fully healthy, that means you weren't good enough. And we weren't good enough. And we were going into the postseason in as good a form as anyone. 18-3 record in our last 21 games. Kawhi Leonard rounding into form. James Harden playing elite basketball. Ivica Zubac playing elite basketball. And as a team, thriving. And then you look at Denver. Jamal Murray was injured essentially till the very end of the season. Well, not saying that he was out the whole year, but he was out the final stretch right before the playoffs, which is not necessarily ideal. And they fired their coach with 3 games left in the season and still beat us. So we'll see if the Denver Nuggets win the championship. If they do, that would make me feel a lot better about, okay, we're not that far off. But I said they're not going to win the championship this year, and I'm going to stick with it. They find themselves 1-1 in their series right now to the Oklahoma City Thunder, so it'll all come down to, these 2 games in Denver, and we'll get a much clearer picture of what this series is going to be. But fact of the matter is, the Clippers aren't quite good enough. Now, why aren't we good enough is the question. I think in terms of a roster, and I'm going to ask this to the commenters. Do you think that if we add a backup center, then get a power forward, let Amir Coffey go, let's say we keep everybody else, let's say we let Ben Simmons go as well, right? Amir Coffey and Ben Simmons go, and we run a 10-man rotation with a power forward that slides Kawhi down to the 3. We keep Zoo, Harden, Norm, Derek, Chris, Bogey, and have a backup center. Are we then a championship contender? For me, the answer is no. For me, it starts at the beginning, at the top. And, the Kawhi Leonard fans are on my head because of me saying that he deserves some blame. They confuse that with all the blame. Or I did say the majority. I kind of did believe he does, just based on the very high standards I have for the guy, which to me is respect. Like, I really think he's just one of the best small forwards to ever play the game. And, he's declined a bit because of the injuries. It is what it is. But I don't believe that he can create good enough looks and is a good enough playmaker to go along with the fact that he doesn't get easy baskets. He doesn't get 2 feet in the paint. He doesn't blow by guys to the same extent. to be your number one option anymore. Realistically, I think Kawhi Leonard could be a great number two option on a championship team. But for me, you need a guy with more consistent motor throughout the course of an 82 game season and with just a little bit more. He's been through so many injuries. The fact that he can still play at this level to me is a testament to how good he truly is. But in my opinion, his days of winning it, being the number one option on a championship team are over. He did it one time. There was some luck involved, with the injuries to Kevin Durant and, of course, Klay Thompson for some games. That doesn't mean that I don't think he was good enough to win a championship as the best player just because there were injuries involved. But some guys do it once, other guys do it multiple times. And it's hard to do it multiple times. I mean, I've been watching basketball in live time for 20 years. And the only guys that I've seen win like multiple rings as the dude are Steph, LeBron, Kobe, and like that's it. Tim Duncan, I guess. Yeah. 2014, I think you could argue Tim Duncan was the best. I think you could argue that Tony Parker was the best. Kawhi deserved the Finals MVP, but he wasn't the best player on the team, and I think he would tell you that. Tony Parker was getting in the paint like there was no tomorrow. But two-way play was probably Duncan, but it was just a little too debatable. So for me, in my time, it's really just LeBron, Kobe, and Steph Curry. Everybody else, the Giannis's, Jokic, one ring. Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, I think it's just people will debate that Steph KD thing till the cows come home. Tatum and Brown, people are arguing that right now. So, and they look like they might be going out in this round in New York. So it's not a thing. I'm not trying to, take a dump on Kawhi Leonard and stuff like that. He's been through a lot. He only played 37 games this season. And I think having him as your number one option, I think we can make the team better. I just think we're a little far off the championship. Now, when it comes to James Harden, the thing about James is we don't get anywhere near a 5-seed record without a James Harden. He has his limitations in the playoffs with, his lack of shot diversity, which kind of forces him to either get step back three or paint shot, not much in between. And teams can force the ball out of his hands. And because of his defensive deficiencies, you need some good defenders around him. And of course, because of how ball dominant he is and how good of a playmaker he is, you want as many shooters as possible. And it's hard to find the balance of great 3-and-D guys. You know what I'm saying? Even Derrick Jones Jr., who was fantastic all year, and Chris Dunn, who was fantastic all year and helped us get the third best defense in the league, did not make shots at a high enough rate in the playoffs for us to get by. Derrick Jones Jr. only shooting 30% from three in that series. So it's tough. And, I don't know what the Kawhi fans think. Do they think that James Harden has to go? The thing about it is he has a player option for $36 million next year. And it's safe to say in today's market, with the way he played this past season, which was all NBA caliber, he should be getting $40 million at least. I'm not talking 50, but about $40 million. The question is, do the Clippers want to pay him that? Because he's not going to sign for 1 year, I don't think. And if I'm James Harden, I'm getting a new contract right now because I proved that I can still be good for a couple of years. The thing is, if you want to win a championship, to me, he's got serious limitations. I don't think he's going to win. I don't trust him in those big games and just to do enough to get over that hump. I think it's hard to build the roster around him to win a title. You need like clutch role players that can hit threes and play D. I think a power forward and a backup big will help, but when a team's putting their eggs in the James Harden basket, it's like you kind of live and die with his pick and roll, and he's so ball dominant that it feels like it's always your number one source of offense. And that source of offense gets you far. I just think we've seen enough of a sample size over the course of however many, let's see, 14 years now, I'd say, where he's been given the keys to an offense. We've seen enough where I don't think it's going to lead you to a title. I think it could be a great team. So for people that are still saying Kawhi's that guy, do we need a new number two? Do we let Harden walk after what he did this season? I mean, if you're a guy that supports Kawhi Leonard, you should be appreciative of James Harden because you wouldn't have seen a healthy Kawhi in the playoffs without James Harden. So the likelihood is, Clipper Nation, that they're both coming back. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's on a $50 million contract. I don't think the Clippers are going to look to shop him at all. I think they're going to say he's gone to the offseason healthy for the first time in a while since the bubble. And, the next year we came out and he had an all NBA season and we made it to the conference finals. I just think he's not getting any younger. He's 33 years old right now. He turns 34 in June. So in a little over a month, he's going to be 34 years old. He's got this next year and then the year after on his deal. But I don't see any way that Kawhi Leonard's not coming back for year 7 as a Clipper, which would be more than CP3, which doesn't feel like that at all because of the seasons that he's missed. I mean, he missed a full season, so essentially it'd be year 6. James Harden has that player option. I just think we're going to re-sign him. It just depends how much we're going to re-sign him for. At this point, I think James Harden will take possibly. This will tell us a lot about James Harden. If he takes a team-friendly deal again to allow us to still get something in the offseason, right now we're currently not in the second apron. That was part of the reason we gave Paul George up. So we have some ability to get stuff, but it's not till 2026 where we're going to, have all the luxury of cap space and all that. We can improve this roster though a bit. I need someone that's a little bit more familiar with the cap and the salary and the aprons and stuff like that to help me out a bit with that. Can't lie. But I do know that James Harden's contract will dictate a good amount for us. Let me know in the comments, do you want to see James Harden back and what do you think his contract should be? Because if we're trying to go all into the offseason of 2026, then how much longer do we want James Harden? We want to go a different direction after this next year. And is he going to take a 1-year deal? He might as well just opt into that player option. But I don't think James Harden wants to leave. I think he wants to stay and retire here. But it depends, because the championship window, I don't know. You need to get a little younger if you want to go championship. Now, Norman Powell, he's an interesting one because he's got 1 more year on his deal. I think that's a contract the Clippers could very much look to trade. I think teams would love to take Norman Powell on 1 year, expiring contract, $20 million. The guy can go out there and get buckets for you, and I think he can help your team wherever level they're at, whether they're a tanking team and you need someone to get buckets, whether they're a playing level team, you can get to put a 6-man, get a Norm as a 6-man. I don't know. But in my opinion, these are the players that are on the contract for next year. Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Zoo, Derek, Chris, Drew Eubanks, because the amount's not fully guaranteed. Nico's on a player option. I think he takes that, but he might want more. Who knows? He doesn't play enough in the regular season, to be honest with you. And then we have a team option on Kobe Brown, so that'll be interesting to see. But Noah Mirkoffee, Patty Mills. Oh, Cam Christie would be back. Jordan Miller. No Ben Simmons. So I think a lot of these guys will be back. And the most likely scenario is the Clippers are going to run it back because they don't really have anywhere to go. Who wants Kawhi? Coming up, though, going to be talking about if we retool. What if we change some pieces around? I got to tell you a little something about DoorDash. NBA fans, you know what time it is. Playoff season means big performances and even bigger rewards. DoorDash is bringing the heat with a slam dunk deal for Dash Pass members during the 2025 NBA playoffs. It's called They Swoosh, You Score. Anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game, Dash Pass members score a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more. Use the code WINGSTOP50 at checkout, and that combo is yours. Crispy, delicious, and totally free. Offer valid noon to midnight the day after the game. Terms apply. So here's the play. Sign up for Dash Pass to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When any player scores 50 plus in a playoff game, Dash Pass members can grab a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the next day with a $20 plus order and code Wingstop50. That's Dash Pass. Your door to more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms apply. All right. So the Clippers lose in 7 games to the Denver Nuggets. What direction should they go in? Well, I think the most likely scenario is going to be running it back. Now, I know there's going to be some of you that are wondering, dude, Darian, we can't do this again, man. We can't. Trust me, I feel you. I totally feel you. But the actuality is the team starts and ends with Kawhi. What makes this last playoff run a little frustrating is that we had a healthy Kawhi and we still didn't win. And my eye test seems to differ from those of a lot of mainly Kawhi stands that say that this was an he did everything he could moment and no one else helped him. I don't think that that was the case personally. I think maybe game 7 you could say, yeah, of course he was the best player. Didn't feel like other guys were up to par, but watch the beginning of that third quarter again and tell me that Kawhi Leonard's not at fault for some of the stuff that's going on that defensive end of the floor. It's just the honest truth. So it's tough to stomach, you know what I'm saying? Because we had that excuse of, oh, well, we didn't have Kawhi, and we've done this. If we have a healthy Kawhi, this is going to happen for so long. So to me, it starts and ends with Kawhi. And what I wouldn't keep James Harden if you got rid of Kawhi. So no team is going to really give up much for Kawhi Leonard, I don't think, at this point. So he's going to stay this next year. And at the end of the day, he helps make you competitive, and he's going into the offseason healthy, and he's still a great player. Now, how we're going to manage him next year, likely we're going to load manage him throughout the season, I would assume. It's going to be a whole thing again. And yeah, it can be a little frustrating, year after year to have to deal with it, but he's still such a good player when he's on the court. His record when he's on the court speaks for itself. So, he's going to be back most likely. The James Harden conversation is an interesting one because it really makes us go a different direction if we don't bring James Harden back. I just don't see any avenue where a guy's all-NBA carries your team to 50 wins when your best player has to, misses so many games, 45 games, and you don't bring him back. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of how much he's asking for. So for me, if he's asking for 3 years, I would say nah. I would truly say nah. 3 years is a lot. If we bring Kawhi Leonard back, let's have an offense that's run through Kawhi Leonard. The thing is, how good of an offense does that look like? He's not a great passer out of the double team, but it's more like 2020 where we're looking at Kawhi to shoot 20 shots a night, and I like that kind of thing. But he's the one that's always wanted a point guard to take the ball out of his hands as well, and people think that's just Paul George. It's not. So I don't know. But if you get rid of Harden, you're going a totally different direction. I don't see that. So then it comes down to the other guys. You're definitely having Zoo come back. He's on an incredible deal. $19 million a year or $18 million. It's one of the best deals in the league. He should be getting 30, in my opinion. Norman Powell, that's the contract where we should try to move him, honestly. Just totally buy into Bogey as our sixth man. Get a power forward for him, ideally, somewhere. And then slot Kawhi Leonard down to the 3 and start Chris. I wouldn't start Chris Dunn. I would have him off the bench and start Derek Jones and just go with the starting lineup probably of Harden, Derek, Kawhi, whoever the new power forward is, and what's his name? Zoo. Or we just totally, if that guy is not a better basketball player than Nico, but he's just a guy that's a rotation player, start Nico. Just don't play him more than 20 minutes a night during the regular season and play that other guy. And it'll be Nico's last dance, essentially. Right? Player option, 1 more year. If he opts into that, this is it for him. He's, 37 years old. He's probably going to hang it up soon. But, it depends. How badly does he want a ring? What does he think he has the best chance to get it? Will a team offer him more than $4 million? He's pretty versatile. That'll be something to look at. Does he want one bigger contract? Because he's, in the playoffs, it doesn't hurt having a guy like Nico on your roster. Ask the Lakers. They could have used someone like that. But Derek Jones is going to be back, and that's going to be awesome. Chris Dunn is going to be back, and he's on $5 million a year, which is awesome. Drew Eubanks, it says he's on $4,750,000, but the amount's not fully guaranteed. I would try to package him in a deal or just waive him and just get that salary out of here. Just package him in a deal. He's not – if we're trying to – he's a waste of a roster spot to me. Let's get someone that can actually contribute. Then the question is, do you want to go? And I would not bring Ben Simmons back. It was just a waste in the playoffs. I don't know. People like Ben Simmons. People say he gave us some good minutes. I see what the coaching staff sees. He doesn't look at the basket. His confidence is so shaky. It's not guys that don't look at the basket at all. Nah, not for me. In the championship setting, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And his urgency is just off, in my opinion. It's not like he just goes out there and does all the dirty work all the time. There was some stuff that was just inexcusable from him at times in that series in terms of defensive miscommunication and just a lack of urgency. But he had his good moments as well. I'm not totally opposed if we bring him back. I just think, are we going to use Jordan Miller? Are we ever going to try to transition and play some younger guys? That's the thing, right? What about Cam Christie? I mean, he's still pretty young. If we're a win now, see that the problem is we're like a win now team, but we can't win the championship. But there are people that think we can, people that think we can't. It's a very strange position to be in, Clipper Nation, unfortunately. I would just say in terms of retool, the most likely scenario I could see us doing is doing what I said. Trading Norman Powell, getting a power forward, returning Kawhi Leonard to the 3. And then I don't know what we're going to do with Ben. I think I could easily see us bringing him back on a very small contract, a cheap contract. I'm very interested to see what we do with Kobe Brown because he's not big enough to play the power forward, in my opinion, in any era, especially today's the only era he could get away with it, honestly, power forward. So, and I think that Amir Coffey and Law Murray even said something about it that he's seen is probably his last days as a Clipper because he didn't get any minutes in the playoffs. So, man, we're going to have no homegrown players left outside of Kobe Brown. Maybe not even Kobe Brown, Cam Christie, Jordan Miller. I think that the team's really lacking that to some degree. I've expressed that for a while. But, hey, I wish Amir Coffey very well. And, I haven't been checking the comments, and that's on me, Clipper Nation. Sorry. But let me know if you think Ty Lue not playing Amir Coffey was a mistake in the playoffs. I know there's some people that feel that way. But coming up, going to be talking. So, by the way, just to finish off, I don't see any scenario where we retool around Harden and trade Kawhi Leonard. I mean, unless a team comes out with some crazy offer and then like signing James Harden and then trading him. I don't believe that that's a possibility. I think the most likely scenario is Norm. I don't see us trading Zubac if Kawhi and Harden are on the roster. And everyone else, they're not trading Derek Jones or Chris Dunn. So coming up, going to talk about what it would look like if we do what some people want, which is blow it up. Blow it up. Absolutely sky high. Going to be talking about that coming up. I got to tell you a little something about Amazon Fire TV Stick. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports, College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your or your kids' games wherever you plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. All right, Clipper Nation. So it's going to be a long summer, and that's okay. I think sometimes it's good for us to all take a break from the fandom of Clippers basketball, especially with the ups and downs. And, you miss it when it's not the season. I, to be honest, haven't missed a season. Like when it's off season, I'm like very relieved. Like I still produce these pods, and I hope you still listen and you're tuning in. And this is what the real fandom is all about, is these off season pods, is really finding the strength to get up here and do them and talk about it, even though it can be sad and depressing at times. But we love this team, and it's going to make it sweeter when one day we do end up winning a series again. Because, man, it's been a couple of years now since 2021. Unfortunately, every single year I've been the host of this show, we are a first-round exit. So Hey, man, there's other hosts that aren't in the playoffs and not talking about a team in the playoffs, so it could be worse. Now, the option that some fans want is for us to just blow it sky high. Now, the only thing I'll say is about that, what teams want Kawhi, and are you signing James Harden? Like doing like a sign and trade? Are you just letting him walk? I mean, I can. The good thing is Kawhi Leonard might have some trade stock because he ended the regular season. And ideally, or sorry, ended the playoffs healthy. And ideally, I would love Kawhi Leonard, as I said at the top of the show, to be a second option, and we get a first option. But how many players are better than Kawhi, realistically, in the league still? It's the thing. I don't see Jokic or Giannis coming here. So the reality is blowing it, and we don't have our draft picks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the draft pick situation because that's the thing. You can blow it up and tank and go a different direction when you have draft picks. The problem with us is we don't have draft picks. This season, we are going to get the 30th pick. 30th pick this year because the Thunder had the best record in the league. So we're getting 30. Don't know if we're striking gold there, but it matters. It's still a first-round pick. We have a second rounder this year via Minnesota. So we actually have our picks this year. But Minnesota is pretty good. So I don't know if those picks will be that good. And we haven't struck gold on a pick since what? Terrence Mann? Amir Coffey has given us some good moments, but I would say Terrence Mann. 2026, we don't have a first rounder. So no matter what we do this upcoming season, we aren't getting our pick. So we can't tank. We'd essentially just be giving it up to, I think, either Philly or OKC. And then we have a second round pick, but only if it's in 2026, but only if it's below 43 or 42, I should say. Oh, and then OKC has the right to swap in 2027's first round. And then we don't have one in 2028. So we're cooked in terms of picks. If we could get some first rounders back for Kawhi, that would be huge. But the thing is, for me, with blow it up, you got to put Zoo on the table as well and see what teams would be willing to offer him because he's got such a crazy contract. Put everyone on the table and see how much you could get. Is it worth it? Do we have the picks back? The thing about Steve Ballmer, though, is he says that he won't tank, will never blow it up, will always be competitive. Because in my opinion, I think he realizes that, like, oh, with Donald Sterling, they always sucked. These Clipper fans, a lot of them will still accept mediocrity and being in the playoffs and appreciate that. But sometimes you need to be bad to be good again. The thing is we just don't have the picks. So we just got to have to ride it out and wait for free agency. But if you look at the free agents, and we'll definitely do more episodes on this offseason, I'm looking around and looking at unrestricted stars. I mean, you're not looking at really anybody. The one guy that has been Kyrie Irving has a player option, and he just had a serious injury. He's not going anywhere. And then you've got, I saw D'Angelo Russell. He's been an all-star one time. He's not a star. I mean, who else is there? I'm looking around, and I'm not seeing any stars. The Rockets have a team option on Fred VanVleet. I don't think they're going to take that contract, but he's not a star. Miles Turner is an unrestricted free agent. But again, he's not a star, and he's not going to be a backup. LeBron has a player option. I would assume he's going to opt in. He's making like $50 million. There are no stars that are unrestricted free agents. Julius Randle has a player option. He's a star. I mean, we do lack a power forward. That would not be terrible, but could we afford Julius Randle? I don't even know how that cap stuff works. I don't think we could afford Julius Randle. So there's no one really out there, Clipper Nation, for a big free agent this summer. There's no one. Literally no one. CP3? I mean, John Collins. Oh, hold on one sec. John Collins is a player option. I mean, it'd be nice if we could get John Collins be at power forward. But that's what we're looking at is like the power forward. So we can have episodes where we talk about that. But blowing it up is not going to happen, I don't think. And yes, if you're frustrated about that in the comments and say, we just got to go a different direction, please express yourselves in those comments because I'll read them one day, maybe in the near future. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, where I had a very long and heartfelt end of the season speech, as I always do, my monologue or whatever you want to call it, eulogy of the Clippers. And of course, Locked On Clippers is free and available wherever you get your podcasts, right here on YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get up to 8,000 subscribers. The age-old proverb continues, go Clippers.